Hello students, in the previous video we have covered about the problems in the agriculture sector. In this video we are going to look at what are the policy responses to the problems in the agriculture sector, or in what way government has tried to address the problems in the agriculture sector. First, we will look at the e-National Agriculture Market, or popularly known as ENAM. Under the ENAM platform, a farmer can sell his produce online. So ENAM is an online trading platform for agriculture produce, and it helps farmer to get right prices for their product or for their produce. So basically farmers go on the ENAM platform, the farmers can check the prices, can upload the picture of its produce, and can get orders directly on the ENAM platform. The ENAM platform will strengthen agriculture marketing, and it will reduce the need for the cultivators to physically come to the mandis to sell their produce. Because in traditional mandis, what happens is the farmer has to bring all his produce to the mandi. He has to physically present there. His produce should be there, which leads to high logistic cost on it. But under ENAM platform, farmer has just to upload details about his produce, and he gets the order online. So there is no need to take your produce to the mandis under the ENAM platform. Recently, due to COVID outbreak, a number of measures were introduced in the ENAM. One was the warehouse-based trading module in the ENAM, which is negotiable warehousing receipts. Under negotiable warehousing receipt, these are issued, negotiable warehousing receipts are issued against the farmer's produce, which is stored in the warehouse. Against the negotiable warehousing receipt, farmer can get a loan from the bank, and this receipt is a proof that farmers produce so and so produce is stored at the particular warehouse. Now, by the government has incorporated the NWR concept here, so farmer can now also trade under ENAM based on the negotiable warehousing receipt. The government has also integrated farmer producer organization modules in the ENAM. As we know that FPO is the collectives of farmers, and many farmers, hundreds of farmers come together, they form a farmer producer organization, and they collectively bargain to get higher prices. Now, by incorporating FPOs, more and more FPOs and more farmers are now under the ENAM platform, and this will ensure more profits as intermediaries are absent. Second thing is, being collective, as farmers are so many, their produce is also bulky, and then they can get good price by bargaining. And the ENAM platform, so this is implemented by Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium. This is very important to know that who implements ENAM platform and what is the aim of ENAM and the measures included introduced during the COVID outbreak. The second policy is about National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. The mission aims at promoting sustainable agriculture or organic farming in the country, sustainable practices in the agricultural sector, and so the aim of the mission is to enhance agricultural productivity in the rain-fed areas, focusing on integrated farming, water use efficiency in agriculture sector, better soil health management, synergizing resource conservation. So the main aim of the mission is to improve agriculture productivity and to promote sustainable agriculture. The scheme or the mission will promote effective management of available water resources, and so that the dream of per drop more crop or har khet ko pani can be fulfilled, and to enhance water use efficiency. The scheme will also promote organic farming and will make farming more profitable, because the traditional farming, including usage of fertilizers, pesticides, or the modern day farming which we are practicing now, which includes fertilizers, pesticides, and heavy machines, has led to rise in the input cost and farmers falling in the debt trap. Now the organic farming is much profitable and the input costs are also very less, and this promotes soil fertility and leads to sustainable farming. So organic farming is promoted under the scheme. Under the scheme, missions or the policies like Paramparagath Krishi Vikas Yojana or Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana and the mission for integrated development of horticulture are implemented, so that the mission can be implemented in full faith. Now, as we have seen that one of the main problem in the agriculture sector is The earning of the farmers from allied sector has remained low. In some areas, it has been high, but overall there is a regional imbalance. So our scheme was launched, which was Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture. It is a centrally sponsored scheme which focuses on enhancing horticulture production, augmenting farmers' income, and strengthening nutritional security. This will improve post-harvest management. So what is the aim is to aim is to improve post-harvest management, because we have seen that post-harvest losses are close to 95,000 crores in the previous video. So the aim is to improve post-harvest management, value addition processing, and marketing infrastructure. So to build marketing infrastructure, value addition processing, etc., the infrastructure, so that farmers can get high prices and can get higher income from the allied sectors. It also promotes farmer producer organizations and their link with the market aggregators and financial institutions. This will again lead to higher prices for the produce, because when FPOs will get credit, they can themselves can set up value addition processing centers, marketing infrastructure, or post-harvest management infrastructure, and this will further they can process their produce and then can get higher prices. It will also improve productivity through diversification of the crops and increasing acreage of orchard. So Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture focuses more on the allied sector, and the aim is to ensure that farmer is getting right prices or more income from the allied sector. Then there is PGS scheme. This PGS scheme is related to the organic farming. It is known as Participatory Guarantee Scheme. So what is this scheme? The aim of the scheme is to promote domestic organic market growth and to enable the small and marginal farmers to have easy access to organic certification. Why they have stressed on easy access to organic certification? Because in order to get an organic certification, the formalities are huge and the cost involved is also too high, and the small and marginal farmers cannot afford it, because there is a third party certification and the costs are very high. In order to solve the problem, government came up with participatory guarantee scheme. This scheme is a group certification system. So under this group of farmers will be given their PGS tag, will be certified under PGS, rather than certifying each individual farmer. Now that's why it is known as participatory guarantee scheme. The government has introduced Jaivik Bharat logo. Now this Jaivik Bharat logo will distinguish between the organic and the inorganic produce. So organic will get Jaivik Bharat logo. The logo will be there on the organic products. The PGS scheme will ensure that production is taking place in accordance with the laid down quality standards. So whichever farmers get PGS certification, they will be able to sell their organic food in the markets without getting the third party certification, because this PGS, under the PGS scheme, whatever certification they will get will be valid. Then we have PM Asha scheme, which was recently launched. So what Asha stands for? It is Annadata Aay Sanrakshan Abhiyan. Now the aim of the PM Asha scheme is to ensure that farmers should get remunerative price for their produce. So farmers should get right price. They should not get low prices for the produce. Now this scheme actually implements, and it actually is the scheme aims to implement the earlier schemes or the schemes which are currently running in a proper manner. So the scheme has three components. One is price support scheme. Now in the price support scheme, physical procurement of pulses, oilseeds and copra will be done by agencies like Food Corporation of India, etc. The second will be, so PSS will ensure that farmers get remunerative prices for the produce. Second is price deficiency payment scheme. Now under this scheme, the oilseeds which are covered under the minimum support price, and these oilseeds will be procured by the so they will be sold by the farmers. And in case if there is a difference between MSP and actual selling price, so suppose if actual selling price is less than MSP, then the central government will come in and central government will pay the difference. So suppose if the actual selling price is rupees 90, but the MSP price is rupees 10, so that rupees 10 will be credited in the bank account of the farmers by the central government. This is price deficiency payment scheme. The third component talks about increasing the role of private sector. which is pilot of private procurement and stockist scheme. Now, this component talks about that implementing the private procurement or procurement by private individuals or organizations on pilot basis. Okay, so under this, a private player can procure crops at the MSP when market price drops below MSP. Okay, so private player can come and procure the goods at MSP when market prices are below MSP. Now, what about remuneration or compensation? So, the private players will be compensated through a service charge by the government, which will be up to maximum of 15% of the MSP of the crop. So, third component talks about increasing the role of private sector. So, this is PM Asha scheme. Now, let us look at one practice question. The question is, consider the following statement. Under ENAM, farmers can directly sell his produce without bringing the produce in the mandi. Second is ENAM will lead to rise in logistics and intermediary cost. Now here option second is wrong and option one is right. Option second is wrong because ENAM will lead to reduction in logistic and intermediary cost because intermediary won't be there and logistic cost will reduce because farmers now don't have to bring their produce. You see the option 1 and 2 both are contradictory because option 1 says that farmers can directly sell his produce without bringing it in the mandi, and second is saying that ENAM will lead to rise in logistic cost. How can it lead to rise in logistic cost when you can sell a produce online without bringing it in the mandi? So yeah, option 1 will be right. Thank you.